All right. Happy April 26th, Sunday, and a happy 93rd birthday to the famous comedian Carol Burnett. Turning 88 today, singer Maurice Williams of Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs. The great hit song Stay. Happy 63rd birthday to Jet Li, martial arts great and actor. Also turning 63 today. Bear Scott will like this one. Former Bulls center Bill Winnington. A happy 56th birthday to First Lady Melania Trump. Also born on the exact same day, April 26th, 1970, one of our very own. Happy birthday to S. Struck, a.k.a. T-Roy. And last but not least, Mr. May is 34 years old today. Aaron Judge, happy birthday. All rise for Mr. May today. Water temperature at the beach area, 64.8, looking good. Record high, 67.1 in 2019. Record low, 54.0, 2007. My biggest losers from yesterday. I'll give you my 3 losers and 3 winners from day 3, the final day of the NFL draft. This covers just rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7, okay? Losers from yesterday. The 49ers with Carver Willis, the guard. They was too early for me. Julian Duggar, the linebacker, like maybe developmental guy. And then a curious pick with Ephesians Prysock out of Oklahoma. Didn't like that one either. San Francisco, not a very good draft in total. And yesterday was not. They didn't exactly make up for it. Arizona Cardinals, round 4, Caleb Proctor, the defensive tackle, just too raw, too small for a defensive tackle. Linebacker Sharer out of Iowa, he has trouble disengaging from blockers, and doesn't have a lot of experience either, like starting games. Undersized. And then last but not least, probably the worst draft. The worst team yesterday was the Pittsburgh Steelers, making probably the worst draft pick of the entire draft with Caden Wetchen, the Iowa wide receiver at 121 overall, was just a colossal reach. Incredibly bad draft pick. Their wide receiver, punt returner. I don't know what they were thinking there. And then the tight end, Nowakowski, is undersized tight end. They went with Rubio at defensive tackle out of Notre Dame. He's a rotational player who was like injured the last half of 2025. They did get the running back Eli something out of Navy in the 7th round, which was, he might do something on special teams, but he needs to be more of a pass catcher to be an impact player. So I thought the Steelers were the worst from yesterday. The biggest winners from yesterday in the draft, all 3 of these teams were in the AFC. And the first one is Sharks Bills. I thought that the Bills had a hell of a haul yesterday with June Bowery, the tackle. Man, great. Surprised he was still there. Skylar Bell, Yukon Glory. A Yukon player going. The fast receiver who makes great like yards after catch. I think he's going to be a good impact player this year in that offense. Then you had Caleb Elarms Orr, the linebacker. He's got insane range and athleticism. And then Jelon Kilgore, defensive lineman. What was he, like the 5th round out of South Carolina? Jelon Kilgore was like stuck on the board up there for like forever, and the Bills were able to nab him. Hell of a pick there. Toriano Pride, it was also a nice cornerback they might be able to use this year in the slot. Hell of a draft day yesterday by the Buffalo Bills. And then I like what the Chargers did yesterday with starting with round 4, Brennan Thompson, the Mississippi State wide receiver. That is a really good pick. I thought they needed a receiver at some point in this draft, and he's going to be a good one. 4.25, 40. Jeez, I mean, this guy's going to be exciting to watch. And then Travis Burke, Also in the first round, tackle out of Memphis. Big, nasty blocker. I thought he should have been a day 2 pick. A great depth option this year, but could even start at some point. Their third fourth runner is Genesis Smith, the defensive back out of Arizona. Rangy playmaker. He does kind of whiff sometimes on tackles, but clean that up. This guy's going to be good to work with, Genesis Smith. Round 5, Nick Barnett, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. I like that one too. Logan Taylor, guard out of Boston College, can compete with a job this year. If not, just be a good depth piece. So then they also got, in round 6, another guard, Alex Harkey. Like, really surprised they were able to get Harkey out of Oregon, who could be a contributor this year as well, just like Logan Taylor. So the thing for the Chargers was, like, they somehow managed to get better on the offensive line while waiting for picks, and they had three really good picks yesterday to help that offensive line. But also a couple of defensive players, and then Brennan Thompson, wide receiver. So really good job by the Chargers. And then their division rival, the Raiders, who I didn't think did a great job on Friday night, did an excellent job with their picks on Saturday, starting with Jermod McCoy, the very first pick of the afternoon, round 4, first pick, cornerback. He's going to be out to prove a lot this year. Was like a high second round projection. There he was at round 4. Good pick there by the Raiders, who needed a cornerback. And then Mike Washington, I talked about him, the running back, round 4. I had him going in round 2. Thought he'd be a great fit for the Broncos. Broncos are going to pay for not picking. I know they picked a pretty good running back, Coleman, I think is his name, but Washington would have been a great fit with Denver. And he's going to haunt them this year and years to come. I like that backfield with Janty and Washington. A nice little 1-2 punch there. This guy, he's a nice power runner. Watch out for Mike Washington Jr. Dalton Johnson, Arizona, and he can play nickel or safety. Really like that guy. Hezekiah Massis, like the cornerback out of California. California's pumped out some good defensive backs in the NFL lately, and I think this guy's going to be one of them. I also like the name Hezekiah, the king from the Old Testament. And then Malik Benson, wide receiver, Oregon. This is a legit deep threat, boys. A nice target. The Raiders got a couple of good receivers in this draft. One of them is Malik Benson. It was like a 6th round pick. And then 7th round, Brandon Cleveland, defensive tackle out of NC State. Sneaky pick there. So those are the 3 teams that I like, all in the AFC. If I could pick 2 NFC teams that I thought did really well yesterday, it would be the Lions. They had 4 sleepers. One of them is Mano, the tackle, backup who could start at right tackle. Running back Vaki, I think, is a nice physical runner. And then they got a couple of depth offensive line and defensive line. One offensive line, one defensive line depth player. And the Panthers did really good yesterday, too. A tight end and a really good cornerback. And then as far as the scrap heap picks from yesterday, the scrap heap picks. There's a lot of scrap heap picks. If you guys want to check it out, it's on CBS Sports, your team. I like the Vikings, I think, picked up a kicker. Bears picked up a kicker. I think the Vikings kicker's from, like, Hawaii. It's a little competition, kicker competition. I like Sawyer Robinson, who was my Tom Brady pick. Raiders picked him up. Maybe he can compete for that number 3 job behind Cousins. Cousins and Mendoza. Sawyer Robertson, the Baylor quarterback, nice arm to have in camp competition. And I like how the Browns picked up Spencer Fano, their first-round pick, one of their first-round picks. His brother, Logan Fano, who's a defensive tackle, I believe, picked him up. So you got 2 brothers on the same team, kind of like the Falcons did. So with the Terrell brothers. So I like that pick, that little signing by the Browns. The phones were ringing off the hook right at the end of the draft yesterday. Teams calling the undrafteds off the scrap heap. I love it. A lot of players that you'll see at least get in mini camp invite. You'll see in preseason games in training camp, get a shot there. A lot of these players that were scooped up that weren't drafted, a lot of quarterbacks, and it's going to be fun to see if, a few of them stick or contribute this year on their team. So thanks everybody for the draft party Thursday night, Friday night. We had fun yesterday. Saturday is a really fun day for the draft. Watching on TV is Mel Kiper, the Godfather, and I wanted to say thank you to everybody who hung out in the NFL draft party room and to the special hosts all weekend. Mrs. Sparkle, Sue Sun, and Kay Bell. We had a great hosts in the room, and everybody for their NFL conversation and talking about picks and all that, all the fun stuff. Great party, a lot of fun, and all right, have a great Sunday. Maybe I'll do a breakdown of my top 3 losers and winners for the entire draft later. So, all right, take care, guys.